Not sure how to review this. Doesn't feel right for scanning my collection. Won't work for the Friday night fights. What if I could do this in a video format? Well, then how to go about it. What would a better reviewer do with this? Someone like Linkara. Yeah, I bet he'd know what to do with this. Hello and welcome to BW Media Spotlight, where bad comics suck. I love the GoBots. Transformer fans, or at least the most vocal, love putting them down, but while Transformers remains my number one, I not only still have my GoBots toys and the command center, but I do try to get more when I come across them. The majority of the GoBots toy line came from a Japanese toy line called Machine Robo, released by Bandai. But Hasbro seems to want to wipe their former competitors out of our minds, having bought Tonka and used the name for other toy lines, including a group of Transformers in the Generation 2 line, later released in Robots in the Sky under the better name Spy Changers, and a line of play school toys called GoBots. But while the Transformers had their backstory in the form of tech specs, the GoBots tale was told in an illustrated booklet released with the Zod toy, and at least around here, in a bin at Kmart. That's where I got my copy. As you can tell, it's rather heavily read. So I'll be using scans from TFU.info, a Transformers toy site that gives the GoBots a fair shake. So how well does this humble booklet sell their toys? Let's dig into GoBots, escape to planet Earth, and learn the true origin of the mighty robots, mighty vehicles. First we need to look at the cover, only because this is way better than a lot of comic covers today. A great sci-fi planet background as Leader 1, Turbo, and a GoBot named Dozer open fire on Psykill for driving around the command center. How dare you buzz the cops? Compared to the static pose shots we get today, I think this would make me more interested in the story inside. Speaking of which, we open with a look at GoBot's home planet, and it sure doesn't look the same as on the show. Also, it's apparently where Mars should be. For centuries, the scientists of planet Gobatron watched Earth. And yes, they've seen you naked sunbathing. The people of Gobatron call themselves GoBots. They learn how to replace worn-out parts of their bodies with computers and artificial organs. Saruman Joker board joke. Now, by the way, shouldn't they be called mighty cyborgs, mighty vehicles? Instead of the cartoon's term of Guardians, here we're introduced to the GoBot security force, headed by Leader 1, with its command center in the background, where they kept track of all the crooks on the planet. On the next page, we see the diabolical and clever master criminal, Psykill, is in prison. Next to him is his right-hand bot, Tank, who, by the way, was voiced by Peter Optimus Prime Cullen in the cartoon. Psykill insists that he can't be held in prison. Tank asks what the plan is, and Psykill snarls, "You'll see, all of Gobatron will see. I'll send them cheesy movies, the worst I could find!" Psykill assembles his team, Fightor, Coptor, Loco, and Buggyman. What, no Crasher? And shows them how they will escape, and how to change their shapes to ordinary Earth vehicles in order to fool the people on Earth. They will also use this to fool the GSF and escape in a flying saucer. I'm trying to remember a motorcycle that actually looks like that. I'm drawing a blank. Wait, why would a GoBot be fooled by a strange vehicle sitting in the cell of the planet's #1 master criminal? I mean, apparently in this story, not every GoBot can transform like on the show. But still, why would that help him escape? Well, somehow it does. And Leader 1 summons his team to the command center. Arriving are Turbo, Dozer, Handscuff, and the Detective Brothers, Dumper and Pumper. Yeah, just get it out of your system. And no Scooter? Psykill's escaped. We have to get in. Wow, thanks, Turbo. And here I thought the two GoBots with the dirty-sounding names were the detectives.
Leader 1 figures out how Psykill learned to convert, and apparently by watching Psykill's home video, and decides that if they're going to chase them to Earth, the security force will have to adopt their own disguises in order to not panic us Earthlings, because we aren't the least bit scared by driverless vehicles.
Meanwhile, the bad guys are already on Earth, as the narrator tells us who transforms into what. Gee, What could a bunch of robots named Sidekill, Copter, Loco, Buggyman, and Tank possibly turn into? And what happened to Fightor?
I leave you in charge, Fightor. The Guardians must be resisted at all costs.
We also meet Sidekill's secret weapon, Zod. Zod could crush, munch, and bash just about everything that crossed his path. You think I'm going to do a Superman 2 joke?
Kneel before Zod!
And you're right. Sidekill then decides it's time to announce his plans to take over the world.
Of course!
So what was the point of the disguises again? And heads to World TV in order to make his threat.
Of the GoBots will return after these messages.
Then we have a 2-page ad for the GoBot toys. 2 things to know. One is that the good guy GoBots aren't listed by GoBot Security Force or Guardians, and the bad guys aren't renegades. Instead, they're just friendly or enemy. Kind of uninspired. The other is that Space C has Blaster's name, Leader 1 is listed as Space C, Blaster is listed as Leader 1, and Dozer and Pumper have their names switched. Kind of a bad proofreading for an illustrated booklet advertising your new toys.
Back to the challenge of the GoBots.
Command Center lands and we see their vehicle modes. Again, guess who the fire truck is? As they head off to find Sidekill. 2 pages later, Turbo somehow finds the enemy GoBots before they reach World TV, which is only a few feet away, as somehow they seem to be malfunctioning. Tank is uncontrollably switching between modes. Loco is running around in circles until Zod tries to eat him, and Sidekill is turned into a vampire from Twilight. The reason? Well, we skip the page where 2 children named Pete and Nancy are playing around on their computer and somehow tapped into the GoBots control program. My old Atari 800. Turbo, of course, responds to Leader 1 instead of calling them all in for an easy recapture, and Leader 1 decides they may have allies they don't know about. Boy, is he in for a shock. Okay, so your potential allies are in big trouble. What do? Do you A. Send your super fast race car guy to get to them first, B. Send the police car who isn't as fast but a silent local authority figure may make the subject feel more at ease, or C. Send the biggest, slowest vehicle possible who doesn't have a chance of reaching them in time? If you chose C, congratulations, you're as stupid as Leader 1. Yes, Gobotron's top cop sends Dumper the dump truck to help the kids. Not fine, so it's not about his detective skills. They sends them to help the kids. And who did Sidekill send? Buggyman, the Dune Buggy. Probably chose the wrong guy for a speedy rescue, Leader 1, just saying. The GoBot Security Force and the enemy GoBots finally do battle. But being an illustrated booklet, all we see are Leader 1 and Sidekill exchange laser fire. Remember, this is before Hanna-Barbera introduced the ability to shoot energy blasts from their fists. So instead we get lasers, rockets, and missiles. Sidekill's bunch decides to run for their lives, and when he sees that he's all alone, Sidekill also makes a run for it. And nobody thinks to outnumber him, overpower him, and at least get the ringleader. Back at base, Leader 1 tells Pete and Nancy all about everything in the story they missed out on. You know, having only been on 2 pages. The kids decide they want to help and can use their 7th grade knowledge of Earth to help them remain a secret but capture Sidekill, a member of a race that observes Earth like a peeping Tom. Instead of saying, "Aw, that's cute," and sending them home, Leader 1 makes them honorary citizens of Gobotron and enlists them in the battle against Sidekill and his group. Does this mean now we can turn into things? No, but you may want to take that off quick or your neck will turn green. Budget cuts, you know. And the booklet ends with this statement by Leader 1. Remember, we have justice and peace on our side. Sidekill is destruction and evil. Peace and justice will always win. Not the right thing to tell me after going through DC's Flashpoint news. This comic is an illustrated booklet. And I can't really bring myself to say that it sucks. I'll readily admit nostalgia plays a big part. It sets up the story, gives the kids a bit of fantasy, and tells them why they should invest themselves in the GoBot universe. And the art is pretty cool. Although sticking too close to the toy means a lack of elbows and knees. If you think the story needed a bit of fleshing out, you may wish I could probably scan the images I did in this notebook, an old anthology I used to do. In a two-part adaptation of this book, I made Psykill a leader of a group who wanted to remain in their GoBot forms and not be restored to human beings like the rest of Gobotron. He even was going to go so far as to force other people to become GoBots. Kind of reminds you of the board with personalities, doesn't it? And don't get me started on the board, Queen. I think I did a decent job drawing the GoBots based on all my skills back then. But my humans were so terrible that I actually tried tracing Pete and Nancy out of the booklet. And let's just say I'm no Greg Land. This comic may actually suck. And it's rather heavy when dropped on your foot. On the other hand, I think I need to be my own reviewer. Come up with my own format. Maybe build off the first review, the Godzilla review. Maybe not do a collaboration for once and really work my own stuff. What can I start with? I think this might be an idea.
Welcome to a top the fourth wall, where bad comics burn. Linkara's gonna teach you all a lesson you won't learn. Brodsky, you're not the smartest. Life out, you're not an artist. Anyone who's had a bad comic published, it could be your turn. Linkara, he's a man punch, wears a birdie hat. Linkara, he has a magic gun. Where'd he purchase that? Linkara, coins, robots, Amazons and trucks. Linkara.
Attention comic book industry. This is how you do an exciting cover. Stop screwing it up.